Hello friends, welcome to this video presented by Suresh Kumar from Shivarajavel IAS Academy, Chennai. In this video, what can be expected? In UPSC examinations, we always need to find the corollary between what is in the syllabus and what the questions asked. Most often when we see the UPSC preliminary questions, it seems like they were thrown out of the blue, as if no clue where they are coming from. That is true to a certain extent. But if we do diligent effort in tracing back and organizing these questions, certain pattern emerges. That's a beautiful pattern, and UPSC has done it in a very clever way that the patterns that is derived, if we link it with the syllabus, I'm telling you it's a perfect match. You'll get it in the next slide. So, if you look at the syllabus for the environment area for preliminary examination, this is what as simple as it. General issues on environmental ecology. Look at this. This is one area. Biodiversity second, and third climate change. So in a very explicit way, these are the topic headings given for environment, and for science and technology, it is simply general studies. But if I go into the last 10 years of this examination and look at the areas from where the questions are picked up, a new picture emerges. And if I club them all these questions, it was approximately about 78 questions I got. And out of these 78 questions, if I compile them, surprisingly, I'm getting only these 3 headings. No matter which year, in the last 10 years, these are the 4 areas where the questions have been asked. And the highest priority goes to biodiversity. For example, last year there was a question about Gucci fungus. There was a question about the habitat for great Indian bustard. There was a question about one-horned rhinoceros and Asiatic lion found only in India or not. Questions like this. There was also a question about the natural habitat for Barasingha, Indian swamp deer. All these questions essentially comes from biodiversity, and every year we see a pattern that about 4 to 6 questions are asked from this biodiversity area. And remember, this biodiversity was explicitly given in the syllabus itself. The next high priority area is pollution and emissions. For example, even last year there was question about acid rain. Previously there were question about ocean acidification, the concept of polar code. All this comes into this, and also the question about which is the crop that emits both, most important crop that emits methane and nitrous oxide. Questions like that, they all come under this heading, pollution and emissions. So first priority is biodiversity, remember this. The second priority comes with pollution and emissions. So when you go through the current affairs, you need to give the priority to these areas. This is not like just a throwaway information I'm giving you. The point is how you capitalize on this. That's most important. And the third most is basic ecology. If you ask me, sir, the basic ecology, what were the questions asked? There were questions about nitrogen fixing plants. Last year there was a question on it. What were the plants that fixes nitrogen? There was also a question about symbiosis. There was also a question about cultivator of fungi. Those who given last year examination may know what I'm speaking. There was a question that which is the first organism that is known to cultivate fungi. The answer was ants. Ant is known to do that. So all this comes under basic ecology. So this is a first priority area. The second is pollution and emissions, and third is basic ecology. Then comes a fourth area, environmental legislations. There are important legislations that are needed to be covered from this examination perspective, and they include Environmental Protection Act 1986, Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Forest Conservation Act 1980, Forest Rights Act 2006, and Indian Forest Act 1927, and also National Green Tribunal 2010. These are the important acts that one must be aware of, and this is what standard preparation for an environment has to be. But if I go into the previous questions, and let me tell you that there is a significant concentration of questions on 2 laws. One on EPA 1986 and second on WPA 1972, Wildlife Protection Act 1972. And there was only 2 times there was question from National Green Tribunal Act 2010. So, if you want to prepare for this area, you need to have a deeper understanding of these 3 acts. EPA 1986, WPA 1972 and NGT 2010. And the other 3 acts which I have said earlier, you must be aware of it, because what if in case UPSC frame a question on this also. Then coming to climate change, the questions about climate action tracker, which was asked in the last year, the question about momentum for change, all this comes under this category. And other conventions, if you come to the last one, and remember climate and related initiatives, PIB is a good source of information, or at least PIB will give you what other data that you need to collect in the internet. Do not straight away jump into current affairs material, friends. It's going to eat up a lot of your time. Don't do that. But for climate change, use PIB as your primary source from where you have to search for any inadequate information in PIB itself. And comes the last area in the environment, other conventions and initiatives. In this other convention and initiatives, there is an extreme focus on wetlands in our country. Wetlands as well as Ramsar Convention. So that is the highly focused area into this. There are also other environmental conventions that you might have gone through, like a Stockholm Convention, Basel Convention, Stockholm Convention on POP. All these conventions you need to have a certain encounter with, but there is no need to go deeper into that. You just know what is a convention, whether India is a party or not, whether it is legally tenable or not, and is there any recent decisions taken. This is a level of information you should have with the other conventions. But for climate and related initiatives, you must have a better and a more deeper understanding. So this is what the theme that I have found out if I gone through the last 10 years of question paper. When we do the same for science and technology, almost a similar outcome ensures that the topmost questions from science and technology comes from biotechnology areas, and surprisingly within biotechnology these are the areas focused. Space technology. So these are the three major areas: genetic engineering, vaccine technology and basic science. These are the three areas, and followed by space technology, and the next is communication technology. So if you're preparing for this year, try to look at the newer concepts of machine learning, the quantum computations, the new talk of the city, ChatGPT. I think most of you are familiar with ChatGPT. Even though 5G is something new to India, already developing standards for 6G itself. So 6G. So all these newer technologies, and also like fast tag, which is something commonly used, but it is something a technological innovation. So all that comes under communication technology. Okay. So focus on communication technology, which is of a recent relevance for modern lives, and other miscellaneous areas. And other miscellaneous areas, I don't know, for some reasons UPSC has a greater focus on LED bulbs. At least once in every 3 years they ask a question on LED lamps, mercury lamps. Is there any pollution associated with that or not? They usually ask questions like that. So this is, and also focus on renewable energy like a methane hydrate. So these are the areas that you need to focus in science and technology. And once again, I would like to emphasize here, these are derived from the pattern that I have discovered from analyzing previous year question paper. So tune your preparation among all the current affairs that you read in science and technology, because I already told you the source for reading science and technology is mostly current affairs. So when you focus on these areas, when you read current affairs, these areas is where your highest focus has to go. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it helps and aids in your preparation for these two areas of environment and science and technology, and watch the next video that we will provide to you, where we will solve the previous year question papers with some nuances of how to approach it. Thank you.